Hi there, I'm Sophia Arnold, and I am at the Northeast Film Festival today, joined by
Tony Carpinelli.
And Tony, I heard that you actually have 2 films represented in the festival this year. Can you tell me about each one of them and your roles working on each one?
Yeah, so my first film is Consequences, and it's basically a very short 6-minute thriller about a young man who seeking the revenge for the death of his mother. It kind of follows him, how he's kidnapped this police officer who accidentally, in a tragic accident, ran her over. And he doesn't have the full information, but, you know, he just goes by what he knows, and basically he thinks this police officer murdered his mom in cold blood, and kind of follows the events from when he has them tied up to the end, where, let's just say, not some good things happen.
Oh, okay. And then the other film as well? Tell us a little bit about that.
So the other film is Beyond Words, and that is basically a film about domestic violence meant to raise awareness about the issue. So I actually co-wrote the film, and this was co-wrote it with a woman who went through a very, very serious issue where she actually got kidnapped by her boyfriend, and he's in jail now, which is good, but she reached out to me, really wanted to make a story on it to really just kind of reach a different audience. And, you know, me just being a director, I love the idea. I thought it'd be a really great message. And yeah, the film basically follows this couple, Emilio and Mia, and we see them start as this very innocent, loving couple, but, you know, with a few red flags in there, and as it goes on, it just very quickly all falls apart, and we suddenly find Mia just completely lost in this very terrible abusive relationship. But the good news is she does break free, and that was the big thing for me as I directed that, was to really give it a positive ending at the end of that.
Wow, so 2 huge projects that, you know, seem to be very different. What was it like working on 2 projects so close to one another? Was it hard to kind of switch back and forth? What was your experience there?
I wouldn't say it was hard per se to switch back and forth between genres. I just think because, you know, Beyond Words is about domestic violence and raising awareness, for me, that I just had to go in and be very, very careful about everything, you know, make sure everything was planned out super importantly. So I think, you know, obviously I do a ton of preparation for any film, but I think just with the film about such a heavy and important topic, it really came down to I guess the big difference would be that just required a lot more, like, I think, emotional thinking in a weird way, where, you know, you really got to think about, okay, the audience, but anyone who's been through this, you know, we don't want to make anyone upset. We want to really make this a respectful film, you know. So I think that was the big difference there.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of intentionality went into it, really being thoughtful about each step of the process. So I'm curious, with switching back and forth between 2 different genres, what do you think was the biggest challenge, and what was the biggest reward with working with 2 different worlds?
I'd say the biggest challenge would probably be, it's a tough one. Like, I want to say not really much, but then I'm going to feel
That's great. That's great. Okay, no challenges. This is wonderful.
Yeah, I think it was kind of just like, well, I will say this, the big thing that helped me with Beyond Words was having my co-writer who, you know, unfortunately, like I said, has been through this, but that really gave me such a very deep and personal insight into what really goes on. So I wasn't like kind of going into it blind. Like, I knew everything that really happened, so that really helped a lot and just made it a lot easier to kind of understand as I was writing it and as I was directing it.
Wow. Well, these are clearly 2 very impactful, important films. How can people see them? How can people follow along with your work? Do you have social media to share?
Yes. So I have an Instagram. It is Tony.Carpinelli2. Carpinelli spelled Carpinelli. And that's where you can find all my stuff about film.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.